Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. I'm cruising around. I'm going to be cruising around today with a camera in front of me so you guys can see what I see. And you know, the idea that I'm here all the time, 24/7, and it's normal for me. But I think it's not normal for the viewers out there to see what's actually going on in the streets of China. So as I drive and babble, you can just sort of see what I see. And this is a Friday afternoon. We're right by the university, Guangxi University. It is a hustling and bustling part of town. I love it here. This is my home. Anyway, that's not what this video is about. Everybody on YouTube, everybody in mainstream media, all the politicians around the world, doesn't matter whether they're from China, doesn't matter whether they're from America or Canada or Great Britain or Brazil or Pakistan or India, who doesn't really matter where they're from. They all try to convince you, as a viewer, that other countries are bad and they're the best. Well, and they're talking from experience, because if you come from Canada, for instance, like I do, Canada's a great country. It's a rich country. It's got lots of resources. It's got more lakes than we know what to do with. And along with more lakes is more fishing. The mountains are beautiful. Everything's so clean. It has its downside. It has a low population. It's colder than a witch's tit in the wintertime. But, it has, a pretty good reputation in the world. You get to places like China, well, over the last number of years, they've got a bad reputation for, pollution, for one, authoritarian government. Whether it does good for the people in China or it doesn't do good for the people in China, just so long as it's called a communist authoritarian government, then people say, oh, it's bad. But a lot of the people that have never been to China, never had a passport, they only listen to the mainstream media from those other countries, exactly, that tell you how bad China is. But if you live in China, you can see how they're building. Like, look over there, guys. All those high-rises are going up. It's an amazing country. It grows so fast. The roads are good. The subways are good. The transportation around the country is good. Things are, a regular price. If you want a job, there's employment for everybody. That's just one of the things. And life is actually getting better. There's still a developing country. See, there's some more buildings going up over there. They're a developing country, but as they develop, they get better, and that's just the way it is. You look at the United States, they've got a good and a bad reputation. Oh, the land of the free, the home of the brave. Of course. Okay, but the nuclear tests in the Marshall Islands, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq that never were. Libya to Lebanon to Afghanistan to, all of the wars, 800 or more military bases around the world, and this is brought to everybody's attention, but they don't talk about the farmers in Montana, life in Yuma, Arizona in the wintertime for a lot of old people from northern Canada. Northern United States, where they go there to stay warm. The cost of living is inexpensive, and the weather is great. They don't tell you about the beaches of California, and they're not telling you the whole story, is basically what I'm trying to say. They're not telling you the whole story about what's going on in these countries, because every country on the face of the earth has good and bad. And being a traveler and somebody that has traveled extensively in my life, I've been everywhere. I think they wrote a song like that. I've been everywhere, man. But the idea that once you start traveling, once you start seeing countries around the world, you go to Thailand. Well, Thailand's got its own sort of I don't know what you would call it, social world that's unlike no other. The weather's great. it's less expensive than a lot of places around the world. It's warm all the time. They got beaches. They've got Pattaya. You know what I mean? You get into Russia. I was in St. Petersburg back the late 90s, and the museums, the culture that's there. Sure, it's a rough area of the world, and at that time especially, it was a really rough area of the world. But the Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg, I spent a couple days just in that one area, just because it's freaking amazing. But it's a lot like Canada. It's colder than a witch's tit also. And I tend to gravitate towards countries that are nice and warm. Today it is 31 degrees, a light breeze in Nanning. It is April the 30th. So it's the end of April. And I know in Canada she's still cold. So but you see what's going on here is that the mainstream media is trying to turn your heads as citizens of your country against other countries, trying to tell you that the world is so much better for you because you live in your country than any other country, and every other country is shit compared to your country. And that's where your patriotism comes, and those Woolen vans are high off the ground, eh? They can jump curves and the whole 9 yards. That's where the farmers like them. But back to the subject matter here. These people that are telling you this, they have an agenda. Of course they have an agenda. I watched one of the clowns in one of his new videos. It's not out yet, I don't think. But he's blaming everything on the communist government in China. Oh, they took 800,000 people out of poverty, but they put them into poverty, shit like this. I love the Chinese people, but I hate the Chinese government. This is shit, that's shit, because people in the United States want to hear that, because that's what they've been conditioned to hear from their politicians in the mainstream media. It's sort of funny in a way, because people actually eat this shit up and believe what they're being told. It just makes no sense to me. But other countries, all of these Western countries, they sort of stick together. They know which side their bread is buttered on. And a place like Canada, where 75% of the economic trade is done with the United States, boy, they don't want to cut their throat by saying anything bad about the United States, because if they cut them off, better to be cut off from China than cut off from the United States. So what would happen if all the mainstream medias around the world quit talking trash about other countries and just dealt with their own problems or the good stuff? Because in China, I notice on the news all the time that they've got not only bad news, but they've also got good news. That's one of the things that you really don't see very often in the Western world, is news that's positive. Here they have it all the time, and I think it's something that sort of bolsters the patriotism of the Chinese people. And I think that's a good thing, showing on mainstream media, on the news, the good things that are happening in and around your country and your community, not just your city, your province, your autonomous region, your country, or even in Asia as a whole type thing. The different businesses that are growing, the different initiatives, the pilot free trade zones, the free trade zones, Hainan turning into the largest free trade zone in China's history. I know in the States, yesterday, Biden says, if we don't get our shit together, boys, we're going to be falling behind countries like China. Isn't this a neat little street? This is one of the ones that I really like. And when you turn the corner and now you're under the trees and it's all shade, the temperature cools down like 5 degrees. So this is a really popular place for the old boys and girls to come and sit on the really hot days in the morning. Yeah, so anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, Biden and, warning their countrymen and the other politicians that the United States is falling behind China and other countries around the world in innovation, technology, transportation, just all of the things that I've been talking about on my channel over the past 3 years, and how China is developing at sort of breakneck speed. And you look, well, I've gone back to Canada, and it seems like it's stuck in the 70s. I've been to the States, and it also seems like it's stuck in the 60s or 70s. And that's one of the things that I think Biden is seeing right now in the United States, that if they don't get their shit together, if they don't start investing in the future, the education, the innovation, technology, and all of these things that they're lacking, they are going to fall behind the rest of the world. And as that happens, they lose their place of power in the world. Then the only thing that they got going for them is a very strong military, but then how do you fuel that military if you can't compete with the other countries around the world? Yeah, it's you see, I do a lot of this just driving around Nanning, well, actually different places around China, because with my little cell phone I can order any of the little bikes on the side of the street. Whether they be the pedal bikes or the electric bikes, you just scan the code and it just takes it out of your WeChat account. It's not brain surgery. Even an old boy like me could figure it out. Another one of the things that I've noticed in the West is property prices have been going through the frickin' roof. I'm building a deck on your house. The lumber would have cost $996 a year ago, as compared today at $3,695. So it's gone up, three, 4 times in value. So what does that do? That just makes properties in the West worth that much more. So everything is skyrocketing in the West as far as property prices and such. In Canada, the United States, in China, that hasn't happened. It's been on a plateau now for about 3 to 4 years, where the properties really haven't gotten that much more expensive. So it's sort of like bucking the trend as compared to the rest of the world. With the COVID, they took care of that. Housing prices are staying pretty level. Transportation is inexpensive. Education is getting better. Healthcare is getting better. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video with a cruise by the back end of Walmart, and this is the back door of Walmart coming up, and it's not a very popular store in China. People still buy their groceries at the wet markets. I do go in there every once in a while to get tuna for Mimi, and those rotisserie roast chickens. Yeah, I'm a rotisserie roast chicken guy. I like them every once in a while. I'll go and get a full chicken and I'll eat the whole puppy, and then I'll go home and have supper, and and I'm still skinny. And you know why? Exactly. An hour in the gym, 5 days a week, guys and girls. Anyway, that's another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And whatever you do, don't forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's a good cause. Look at this place grow. A year ago, none of these buildings were here. And a year from now, they'll all be finished. You don't see that anywhere else in the world. Anyway, have a good day from here in Nanning, China. Bye now.